Hello friends, welcome to Inside Cycle Initiative. In today's video, we are going to discuss about Turkey supporting NATO's membership of Sweden. Regarding that, we will discuss about details related to that particular issue. Now first we will try to understand the various video components. Okay. In this video, we are going to discuss about first context of this topic. Then what is NATO and what are the NATO functions. Then reasons behind the opposition to Sweden's membership in joining NATO. Then what would be a membership means and how it will benefit NATO as well, and how the Sweden will get benefited. Then what is the source of Russia's dispute with NATO and what Russia is expecting from NATO as well as America, that we will discuss. And finally NATO Plus and what NATO is trying to offering to India. So these are the topics we are going to discuss. Okay. For better understanding of this issue, first we have to know what is this NATO. Okay. In the context of world wars, the world wars are always based on the uncertainty and based on lack of trust, especially after the World War II. There were two global powers across the globe. One is the socialist ideology based USSR and the other one is capitalist based Western Europe and USA. In fact, after World War II, Western Europe, they damaged economically and politically very badly. Okay, previously UK and France, they enjoyed certain hegemony, but after World War II, their power got reduced. And America, to counter the Russia's dominance of socialist ideology, America and Canada and few Western countries, they formed as an alliance. That alliance is nothing but NATO. NATO was formed. It started with very small group of countries in 1947 and it took shape finally by signing NATO treaty in 1949. So that is how NATO came into existence. So what you have to know? You have to know that NATO consists of representation from two continents. One is from North American continent, North America, which includes USA and Canada. Okay. So can you recollect what are the Great Lakes between Canada and USA border? Okay. If yes, please put your answers. Next, from Europe. Okay. Now at the moment, from North America 2 countries are representing, and from Europe now 29 countries are representing. Now total membership at the moment it stands at 31. If Sweden joins, then Sweden would be the 32nd country. Actually the 31st country, in fact it was a neighbor of Sweden, that is Finland. Finland shares immediate border with Russia. Okay. Now first we have to understand what NATO provides and why Sweden would like to join in NATO. In fact, Ukraine also would like to join NATO. That is where actually this Russia-Ukraine clash started. This NATO, according to the NATO Charter, in NATO Charter, there is one article called Article 5. The Article 5 of NATO, it provides collective defense. It provides collective defense. What does it mean, the collective defense? Collective defense means if one country in NATO is getting attacked, then that attack is considered as attack on the entire NATO and this entire NATO responds for that particular country cause. This was quite evident when USA was attacked by Taliban. USA was attacked by Taliban, World Trade Centers, okay, that 9/11 attacks. So when USA attacked by Taliban's, as USA is a member of the NATO, the entire NATO responded and NATO sent their forces to Afghanistan. You know that, and those forces were there in Afghanistan for almost like more than a decade. So this kind of protection will be offered from NATO. So now already Finland joined in NATO because Finland is having some apprehensions that like how Russia is so aggressive with Ukraine, it may go in same way with respect to Finland as well. That is the reason, as a preemptive mode, Finland joined with the NATO. Then now Sweden is also thinking in the same way. Actually Sweden maintained a great neutrality in the World War I as well as World War II. Now Sweden under apprehension, Sweden under fear now. Now even the Sweden people also, they are favoring of Sweden joining with the NATO. That's the reason now Sweden said agreed to join with the NATO. But here the catch is, If you would like to join in NATO, there is one clause, that is NATO new member. Okay, so new membership can be given, new membership in NATO, it can be given only based on consensus. Okay, that means the existing member countries which are present in NATO, they have to agree, not few but all the countries should agree, then only new country can be added or admitted. Here the problem with Sweden is Turkey is opposing Sweden joining with the NATO. So you have to understand why Turkey is opposing, because in Turkey there is one separatist movement is going on, that is for the Kurdistan. Actually this Kurdistan, this issue, it is being led by PKK, okay, Kurdish Workers Group, PKK. And in Sweden recently burning of Quran was also happened. Okay, so now Turkey is pushing Sweden to take strict action against these PKK groups, and Turkey is strongly believing that Sweden is backing up these groups and this group is affecting the sovereignty of Turkey. But the catch is here, now the Turkey is convinced because Turkey requires some defense upgradation. That defense upgradation provided by the USA, and on the condition that, okay, it may not be explicit, but according to the diplomatic sources, it is saying that on the conditions that, so USA put a condition on Turkey that you must be very positive towards Sweden, then we can give this kind of defense, help to you. Why Turkey is required this kind of defense upgradation? That now Turkey aspirations grown a lot. Turkey is trying to act as a big brother in Islamic world. That is the reason, if you remember recently, Maldives, they tried to have a good relation with Turkey. Now Saudi Arabia is seeing Turkey as their adversary as well. Especially the both countries are fighting to take the leadership regarding the Islamic world. So because of this, all these regions, now Turkey is going soft regarding the Sweden. And even previously Hungary also, they were not okay. But now Hungary also shown positive towards the Sweden joining in the NATO. But what NATO will get, once the Sweden joins with the NATO, if you look at here Baltic, this is the Baltic Sea. Okay, so this is the Baltic Sea. Now already these countries, okay, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and countries like Germany. So majority of the Baltic border countries, they are already in the NATO. Now even Finland also joined in the group. Now if Sweden also joined in this group, that means except few parts, majority of the Baltic Sea access will be under the control of NATO. That is going to be the unsettling issue to Russia, because Russia is mainly depending on Baltic Sea to access trade related to trade from Atlantic Ocean. So this is going to be a good security win for NATO, that we can say. And now, of course, now Russia, to stop war with Ukraine, Russia is putting conditions that this NATO should not allow the previous USSR members, such as like Ukraine and whichever the Belarus, whichever the countries so far did not join in the NATO. Okay, so NATO should not encourage erstwhile USSR members, and USA should not establish any military base in the erstwhile USSR countries, and both USSR and NATO, Russia, both Russia as well as USA, they should not hostile to each other. These are some of the conditions put forwarded by the Russia to end war with Ukraine. So these are the things you have to have an idea. Now let's see context. The context is Turkey's parliament, they shown their support towards Sweden's NATO membership. NATO established in 1949 with the signing of Washington Treaty. Now it is having the membership of 31, and Sweden may become the 32nd countries. They have the clause of collective defense under Article 5. Already we discussed about that and what is the purpose of that. And these are the original members. Of course, you don't need to remember all the country names. Only thing is you have to remember which one is recently added. France, the speciality regarding the France is, in the meanwhile, France, they withdrew from the NATO in 1966 and again they rejoined in 2009. NATO's headquarters in Brussels, Belgium. Finland joined in NATO as 31st member. Functions. NATO provides defense and security related protection, and of course NATO military try to resolve disputes in a peaceful manner. Why does the Sweden want to join with the NATO? Because now they are facing threats, and even the Sweden public opinion, they are increasingly in favor of joining NATO. That already I explained to you. What were the major roadblocks? Both Turkey and Hungary, they show red flags for Sweden's membership. Now they became soft as well. Why was the Turkey opposing? Already I discussed. One is Quran burning issue, as well as the support to Kurdish military outfit, that is PKK. Of course, now US, by helping to Turkey in the defense upgradation, certainly again they requested the Turkey to go soft. What will Sweden bring to NATO? Mainly command over the Baltic Sea. Now the NATO military bases, they can come very close to Russia. That is going to be the huge win to NATO. Then what kind of conditions put forwarding by Russia? Russia is saying that especially erstwhile Soviet Union countries, they should not be encouraged to join with the NATO, and USA should not establish any military base around the Soviet states, and the NATO as well as the USSR, the Russia, they should not encourage, they should not provoke each other with their military activities. These are Russia expecting from NATO to end the war with Ukraine and the India and NATO states. Of course, United States congressional report, it was released by the Select Committee of USA. This committee mentioned that USA always strengthen the NATO Plus arrangement by including India as well. What is this NATO Plus arrangement? NATO Plus arrangement includes NATO plus some of the countries which are naturally very close to NATO member countries. That is nothing but NATO Plus. It includes 31 NATO member countries and countries such as Australia, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand and Israel. This is about NATO Plus, and that is what USA is intending to say, that they are going to expand NATO Plus by including India as well. Now tell me students, why India is not that much particularly interested about joining in the NATO Plus? What is the reason for that? Okay, put your answer. Next, yesterday's question. Which of the following provisions of the Constitution of India given immediate effect from the 26th November 1949? Provisions such as citizenship and elections, they got immediate immediate activation from the day of adaptation of Constitution. Next, today's MCQ question. Today's question is about, with reference to NATO, consider the following statement. NATO is a military alliance established by Washington Treaty. Okay, NATO has never invoked a collective defense clause. Never invoked. The statement is reading. Okay, now choose the option wisely. Mains question. Trace the origins of NATO and evaluates its relevance in the present day geopolitics. How do you think NATO is relevant in the present day geopolitics? Now, so this is about the discussion regarding the NATO, and in this discussion we covered issues such as how NATO came into existence and what kind of stand took by Turkey and how the stand changed and what Sweden can bring onto the table and how the NATO helps to Sweden, what is this collective defense clause, and all these things we discussed. Okay, and how it is going to affect the Russia as well, we covered. So this is the detailed analysis regarding the Sweden joining with NATO. I hope this issue added some value to your preparation. If you would like to suggest any topics to be discussed in these videos, suggest the topic names, I'll try to include. Anyhow, thanks for watching this. Have a great day. Jai Hind.